Welcome back. I am your host, Dominique Danielle, and this is Trap City ATL. Now, as I told you before, we had a special guest coming, so please introduce yourself. Tell them what you
Hey,
do.
what up, A-Town? You know who it is, K Botchey, aka Mr. OSU Party in the building. What's happening with it?
And what is it that you do?
Oh man, I do a number of things. Officially, I would say I'm a brand ambassador, influencer, nightlife promoter, amongst other things. Entrepreneur.
Dope. Okay, so you have this name, Mr. I Host You Party. Now, I want to know why and where did that name come from?
For people that know me or don't know me, rather, I came from a promotional background. I've probably been in the nightclub space since like the age of 15. Before I just started off as a promoter, I actually used to rap and hosting parties kind of came naturally on the accident. But the whole Mr. I Host You Party, that's just what it was. It was kind of like, I felt like in being in that nightlife space, that was kind of like my job to do. So, it was kind of one of those things like, a buddy of mine kind of said it, not, exactly like that, but I kind of clinked it up and I just kind of ran with it. So it's just kind of like been my moniker. Like, I expect for people to come to my events and have a good time. It's my job to do the hosting. It's your job to party and have a good time. My first real introduction into promotions, period, was, I think I was a freshman in high school, and my older brother was a senior. And we came up like in a non-traditional setting. Like I'm from the South Side, but I was like in the M&M program back in the day. So for those of y'all that don't know, they used to do something in Atlanta where they would take kids from like the South Side and send them to school on the North Side. So I grew up in College Park, but I went to school in Dunwoody, Sandy Springs area. So long story short, my older brother was doing the party because we knew so many people from so many parts of the city, South Side, East Side, West Side, North Side. So we wanted to do this party. And at the time, there was no social media, there wasn't the Facebook or none of that. But we just knew so many people because, just our upbringing. So I kind of helped them out with that. We printed up flyers at the schools. We would hand them out to people at schools. When we got back to the crib, coming from school, we'd go around the neighborhood passing out flyers. So that was like my first introduction into what ultimately would have, what became a career. But in that sense, once that party finally happened, I was like, that's dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? You seeing people from every school in like Fulton County at this one party. And of course he graduated. I was still in high school. I didn't really think much of it after that. But when I got off into college, it was something that he picked up, and then my cousins was all doing it. So I had some offers to play football, but it wasn't the colleges that I really wanted to go to. So ultimately, I ended up following my cousin to the college he went to, which was Georgia Southern University. And they were kind of like super big in the whole promotional thing down there. I stayed there for like a year and a half. I ended up going to Savannah State. When I got to Savannah State, I was like, I got to figure out a way to make some money for myself. And what I started in Georgia Southern, I just continued at Savannah State, and it ultimately ended up being my career path. So all throughout college, I was just promoting, hosting parties, and booking artists, and you know what I'm saying? That was just kind of like my thing.
So, did you have a love for it, or is it something that just kind of fell in? Like, I see it kind of fell in your lap, but did you have an actual love for it too?
Well, in the beginning, honestly, I didn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like people just expected me to do it because it was like what my cousins were doing, what my brothers was doing. I was like, I've always been the type of person that moved to the beat of my own drum. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to do something because that's what everybody else does. This is what you expect me to do. Honestly, I was the dance choreographer and a rapper. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of, those were like my hobbies. I wanted to be a sports agent, you know what I'm saying, in college, but at the time it was like, I was hustling, but it was like, I know I got talents to do other things.
Right.
And when the whole party situation came about, I was like, you know what, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah.
So I built up a team of like some of my homies that was like, in school with me. Everybody had different interests, but they was like willing to follow me with what I wanted to do. So once I kind of got going, I built like my own little promotional team, and I just took off from there.
That's dope. Now, TV, Love and Hip Hop. This, you already know when you hear Love and Hip Hop, you like, oh snap. So let me ask, when or how did you get that big opportunity to be a part of Love and Hip Hop?
Actually, the woman that I was dealing with at the time kind of called me and like asked me like would I do it, and I was just kind of like taken back a little bit, to be honest, because I hadn't watched the show in years, and what I knew about Love and Hip Hop was like I wasn't even sure people still watched the show. come to find out, a funny story behind that was a buddy of mine who worked at the radio station actually used to cast for the show. So once I was, already on the show, he kind of hit me like, yeah, I kind of put your name in the hat. But unbeknownst to me, he never told me that. So I think part of me being a regular fixture in Atlanta and them wanting to kind of like make it more genuine as to the type of people that they want to put on there, it kind of went hand in hand. So had she not called me, the opportunity probably would have never came about, or I would have never thought to go and do it. But she called me like, yo, you think you want to do this? And I'm like, nah, I give it a shot, you know what I'm saying? But when they called me like, hey, congratulations, I was like, oh shit. Cause I just kind of, I was just going to the audition, just winging it. Yeah. And they loved me, they loved us, they loved our story. So it was like, yo, we need y'all for the show. I was like, all right, cool.
Just kind of happened.
I ain't gonna lie, it just happened like that.
That's dope. That's dope. Now, what is a normal day for K Botchey? What's your normal day like?
Normal day for me, I probably get up like around 10 a.m., say my prayers, make my bed, get my stuff in order. I'm probably at the gym, handling business, taking up any meetings that lead towards anything I gotta do for the weekend. I got a fun lifestyle, I got a fun job, you know what I'm saying? I'm a true entrepreneur, I make my own hours. In terms of being an influencer, your brand is like key. You know what I'm saying? People tend to say like, oh, I don't care what this person thinks about me. But when you're an influencer, you have to care what people think about you. It's your bread and butter, it's how you make your paper, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I tell people from the outside looking in, it depends on what you want to know. But in terms of branding, just always stay true to yourself, know who you are as a person. A lot of people, it doesn't matter what age you are, they haven't found themselves yet. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's a real thing. So take some time out to figure out what are your goals in life, what do you aspire to be, what are your aspirations. So once you tend to figure those things out, other things start to come into play. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of branding, I always tell people, stay true to yourself and the rest will follow.
That's real. That's really real. Now tell them where they can find you, all the stuff you're working on and where they can find you.
As far as social media, it's where you can find me. If you're on social media, any social media handles, it's K Botchey, that's K-B-O-T-C-H-E-Y. If you're riding through Atlanta and you cut on your radio station, you can find me on Streets 94.5.
Hey.
Yeah, I got some other things coming up in television I can't speak on, but, just stay tuned. Follow me on where the party is.
That's what's up. Now,
sure.
We have awesome sponsors that actually wanted to thank you for coming by. Yes. Funky, now, when I tell you Funky Hipster is like dope, they
for
dope.
Sure.
So when they get some stuff, I'm like, yeah, like that's
I'm always down to support people, man. Like, you never know where meeting that next person is going to take you in life.
Yeah.
And I say that to people, too. It's like, I've never necessarily been a shy person, but I'm very guarded with myself and, the people around me. So, I kind of used to be closed-minded and open up and meeting people, but I'll give anybody my phone number that asks. You never know where that conversation is going to take you or what it's going to lead to. So I'm always down to support people, up-and-coming brands, whatever situation may be.
That's what's up. Well, definitely thank you for coming
Thank you
by.
for having me.
We got more Trap City ATO coming up.
Peace.
Don't go nowhere.